Good morning, beautiful world, like afternoon or nighttime or whatever time you're stalking me, because today's vlog is going to be in series mode. Today's story time, I'm gonna get into the Depo shot. Depo shot, the actual name of it is Depo. It's a birth control, and of course it's usually given to stop birth. My experience on it was terrible. And to my knowledge, more than half of the women who go on birth control, they don't have a good experience. I'm gonna show y'all a few side effects of Depo, the things that can happen if you constantly take it over the amount of years. If you take it for 1 year, the side effects pretty much. And when I say side effects, I don't mean like, oh, it's gonna be there and it's gonna go away. No, some of the stuff don't go away. That's a few side effects that you can get from having Depo. How I found out about it, I wanna say it was a sign, it was a message, it was a gift. I don't know what it was, but I'm gonna tell y'all what happened. I'm gonna tell y'all how it went. Hold on. Well, it was summer of 2017 and summer of 2018. I remember when it was. It was April 2017. And I remember because I was at a sleepover with some friends in a hotel. And that night we got drunk and I started to feel tightness in my chest, like under my armpits, and I never felt it before, and it felt like a burning sensation. And now it's like an everyday thing. But I was feeling it, and I was just telling my friend, I was like, this don't feel right. Like, I don't know, I don't think I'm tripping, but this don't feel right. I was having a good time, so I didn't want to kill the mood, so I didn't say anything about it at the moment until it went to the end of the night. And I was laying down, and I remember all I could think about is the pain in my chest under my armpit. And it was just like really tight. It was like my muscle is just really effing tight. And the whole night I just kept thinking about how I felt like my life was never gonna feel like the same again. I didn't know why I was feeling like that. I didn't think I was about to feel 40 in a 20-year-old body. And I didn't know what to think. All I knew is that my life was not going to be the same. And I guess it made me even more paranoid, but over time, not even over time, I wanna say over the next few days, I guess my bendering started to get out of hand. So I really felt like it was the drugs that was affecting me. So I stopped doing them. I stopped touching the pills, and my body still wasn't going back to what it was. It was just getting worse. I started to feel the fire and the tightness under the left side of my chest and my rib cage, and it would get so bad I would feel like I have to burp or throw up, but I couldn't. And I would start to just feel air sockets, and I would just start to feel more air filling up in the little pouch thing under my chest. And I know what it is now, that's why it's easier for me to explain it. But to me back then, it was like there's something in me and it's just getting bigger and it's just hurting and it's just burning and I don't know what to do. So I didn't notice how bad it got until I lost weight. I was on Depo for about 7 years. My mom put me on Depo in 2013. I think I was 15 at the time, but just turned 16. I was on it for 5 years. So by then, it was normal to me. I had recently just got my Depo shot. Like all the side effects wasn't normal, but getting the shot was normal. I didn't want to think anything of it, but when the time came and people started to notice that I went from 160 pounds to 100 pounds, they thought I was still doing drugs. So finally expressed my health to my family. They assumed I was still doing drugs and treated me as such instead of actually trying to figure out what's wrong with me. So I want to say about a month or 2 months passed and I just forgot about it. I didn't, bring anything up. I was still having pains, chest pains, back pains, my whole muscles. My body would ache so bad at the beginning to where I couldn't even stand up on my own. I couldn't shower on my own. I was weak and I was eating, I was drinking water, but I was just malnutrition. It's like my body wasn't getting the right nutrients for some reason. And on top of that, I was stressed. Moving back home out of a stressful situation into an unsafe environment, into another stressful situation. So during that time, they didn't care to help me. My family did not care to help me at the time. So it's like I pretty much gave up. Like my body gave up 100% to where I just didn't care. I don't remember what started to push me. I want to say it was them telling me that they were moving, so I had to move out and find my own place, but they didn't move and they ended up just kicking me out. So I feel like if it wasn't for that, I probably wouldn't have gotten myself up as fast as I did. But in the midst of that also, I was just scrolling down Facebook one day, and certain people would tell me, you know, they would even message me and say, you know, were you on birth control? But I was just choosing to ignore it because I didn't want to believe that it was birth control. And I'll admit that I did not want to believe it was birth control. So, yeah, I was scrolling down Facebook one day and I seen this informational ad that was saying that Depo causes all these side effects and this and that much. So I was looking at the side effects, and from the first side effect all the way down to the bottom last side effect, I had damn near each and every single side effect on the list. Once I realized it was the Depo, I told my doctors, and at the time I was being put through Harris Health System with the Gold Card, and that is probably the worst insurance to ever go through. And there's only one person in my life that says they're good, but all of the experiences that I've had going to Harris Health or anything with the Gold Card, it's been bad. And I don't know if it's because I'm young and I don't know, but it's just really bad. So they didn't really pay me no mind. They didn't care to actually take a look and, you know, make sure I was okay, because birth control can lead to a lot of issues. It can lead to a lot of things that I need help for. And they didn't care to treat me or to look at me for that. All they kept saying was stop smoking weed. You know, if you still smoking marijuana, you might want to stop doing that. Drink water. They didn't want to actually do any tests. They didn't want to test my muscles, my bone. Like, they didn't really care. So they did end up prescribing me gabapentin and some other strong medication. And I went from being hooked to one certain type of pills, uppers to downers. I started taking probably 2, because it was 60 in a bottle. I was probably taking 2 a day or 2 every 4 hours, to where I ended up taking about 6, 7 to almost 11. And eventually it just would not affect me. That didn't help my body. It just kind of made it a little worse. But over time, I still kept pushing and I still made it out to where I was able to try and focus on my body on my own. And I want to say in 2018, 2019, I started to get my body back a lot better, get my health back a lot better. And I think I was at about 145, 150, but I ended up getting married and divorced a year later. Another story time, but that took all my weight. That took damn near every little piece of hope left that I had left for my little body. So yes, still struggling with a lot of medical issues that Depo gave me, like medical issues that I was probably supposed to get in my late 40s or 30s or something, but I ended up getting them when I was 20 years old. That's my little short story time and my little experience on Depo. Of course, I don't recommend it. I don't recommend any birth control. To me, all birth control is dangerous. If you have something that's altering what your body is supposed to do, any type of drug, hormonal drugs, so anything that does that is a risk, because either your body is gonna jump in and flow with it or just reject it. And mine rejected it. I also didn't have a period for 5 years. No, I never had a period. I was gonna say I probably bled one time, but no, I never had a period. Always tease people because I never had a period, and I didn't know that that wasn't normal, and then that's not good because it's supposed to flush your body out. And thank y'all for tuning in, and I'll see y'all on the next story time.